rhythm. Monk on the beat. Monk on the beat.
What is up, YouTube? My Cowboys family here, bringing you guys the latest update on our very own Dallas Cowboys. And of course, as always, thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Of course, for us, another Cowboys in 60. Although, let's see if we can actually keep it to that, of course. As we, get rolling here tonight, of course, take a second, hit like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and hop in the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below.
That's right, guys. Here, weekend, Saturday. I hope everyone's having a good one, safe one, fun one, and relaxing. And we're going to take a little bit of a relaxing look here at training camp, literally 10 days away, but there's some issues going on. Jerry Jones, is he
up to shenanigans,
shaking some stuff up there in Oxnard? We'll talk about that. Mozzy Smith, I think he did say some things today with him, Sam Williams, and others, but it's more about what do we expect from Mozzy? How will he help our defense? And I'm going to explain a couple more insights. I know we talked about some general stuff. I think we got some more that's a structural, foundational kind of knowledge when it comes to what Mozzy Smith is going to do for this defense. And running backs, you see some of the topics we're going to discuss. Don't forget, maybe we're going to have, I don't know, this is going to surprise you a little bit. I got a special kicker segment, a kicker corner here for you.
Thank you, baby.
It's for a Saturday special live stream. So, again, everybody hit that like, subscribe, notification bell, and let's open this thing up with those that make the world go around here on MCF. And that's the sponsor of the week, the man from Hawaii,
Mark Hovsepian.
Yes, much
Mahalo
love
to you, Mark. And, of course, not just the sponsor of the week, also the Stream Boss with 92 points on the Stream Boss.
That's right. He's rocking both those boards. And he's on that overall board in second place currently. There's one guy in front of him, and that's Skeptical Fan, in a battle for tomorrow's crowning of that side of things. Speaking of crowns, Jason Renfro, currently the back-to-back Cash App King. Much love to Jason Renfro. He's on that board this time around, but he is not the leader. It is the guy right above him right now. Boom. Snug X. Third place on the overall board. Much love.
We don't know why he's here.
Of course. And much love to Snug X for his $20 Tony Pollard holler, which we'll be speaking about tonight. Also, talk about leaders and winners. We got Skeptical Fan, who is the winner of our gifting membership. And that's the best way of helping the channel now. That's the tiebreaker.
Membership man.
Yeah, so he's been back-to-back in months. And now leading this month again in front of Jason Renfro. The battle continues there. And if you look at the star level side of things, the nightly shout-outs, Skeptical Fan, of course, leading the pack. Jason Renfro in the mix. Dwayne Broussard, another star level OG. And then you got Mary Alvarez joining the crew along with LC Lincoln Kane all the way from Australia. So you got the 5 on it crew right there on the star level membership. 5 points, 5 stars. Hey, we're going to have some special raffles going on for that crew. So make sure if you want to be part of that, you join up in any of the levels, Navy, Blue, Silver, and Star. We got that over everything as well. You be part of the show and in the news segments of our show. So that's a new thing. We'll see if that gets going maybe into the season. Outside of the super chats, of course, outside of the memberships you can jump into, outside of gifting membership, and even the thanks button, which, by the way, first place skeptical fan, he dropped a $2 thanks, and he said 28 days until Cowboy preseason football. Hell yeah, the first game, preseason game. 4 weeks away, can't wait. Much love, skeptical fan, with that $2 thanks. Now, there's other ways to drop love, baby, and that goes in the Cash App King side of things, of course. One of them is the Cash App, which is
money sign My Cowboys Family. The Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family. You have the regular PayPal link, of course, and last but not least, the Streamlabs link shows up right there on your screen, just like Super Chat.
Truly appreciate everybody who's dropped the love through there or any other way in 2023. Appreciate every single one of you guys, and we'll be having a lot more fun raffles here on MCF as we go into the season. Now, top of that, of course, we got the leaderboard, we got all those things. We discussed it all, but now we got to shout out those in the house, in the chat here tonight, discuss some Dallas Cowboy football. Baby, who's here?
We have Cactus G in the place to be. Magic Man, hello and hi. Eric Wallace, what's up? Meatball Ron had to say hello.
Meatball Ron.
Oh, Thomas Garrett, the superior Garrett.
Hell yeah.
We have Double R representing. Let me see. Lead commander, of course. Someone else who had to come talk real football.
He still doesn't realize that 5 is greater than 3. Sorry, Washington.
The man Frame Rippers, much love to you. Jay Duncan in the house. Freedom First, hello.
Hey.
Leland from Wakanda, much love to you. He was not.
Ooh, not first.
So Scorpio in the house.
Scorpio.
Hello and hi.
He's kind of get that his poker game up.
So I think that's everyone here so far tonight. Again, a more laid back, relaxed MCF stream here for this Saturday. But again, it's the calm before the storm, really, truly. Hey,
listen, we're gonna get this thing rolling right off the bat. This is a Cowboys in 60. It might actually stay under 60 tonight. You know, of course, I make these streams a little longer.
Of course.
So, if you guys drop the knowledge, some great questions, the love, that's how we keep it going here, a little bit longer, right? So let's kick it off with some analytics. Now, we talked about yesterday a hire here at John Park, the new, head of the analytics department for the Cowboys. He's taken over one of the most highly respected people for this job. We've definitely stacked our entire room here when it comes to the analytics, top-notch people. The new hire yesterday, Bryant Davis, right there. Cover up that ugly Colts logo. Bryant Davis, who's he's going to be another strategic analyst, going to work with, from the baseball days, the Moneyball kind of side of things with the Tampa Bay Rays. That's where he's known from. That's where he made his big, kind of his name for himself there, keeping the Tampa Bay Rays always winning with one of the cheaper, budgets in baseball. So that's worked in baseball. It should work in football, baby. He did speak on it today. He spoke on this. Well, he posted his thoughts on Twitter and all other social media. What did Bryant Davis say?
I am extremely grateful to the Rays for giving me my first opportunity to work in sports. I had the chance to work with so many incredible, intelligent, and experienced people, and will miss being a part of the organization. Moving forward, I'm so excited to get to work for the Cowboys organization and apply what I've learned in baseball to football. I'm so lucky to get to work with such a talented group of people. Please reach out to me if you ever need anything. Hit me up right now. Just kidding. No, I'm sorry. Did you want me to?
Yeah, well, I think John Park also spoke on that.
I just wasn't sure how you wanted me to.
Yeah, no, he responded. He retweeted that and then said something himself about Bryant Davis and what he believes in the hiring on him.
Yeah, basically replying to Davis's post there, saying, thankful that Bryant Davis is on board with the Dallas Cowboys. Data-driven strategies continue to redefine baseball, but his heart for football led him here. His conscientiousness and curiosity will foster creative collaboration. There
you go. So you can already see kind of a little look into the window of what the Cowboys are trying to do, John Park trying to do here in Dallas with the analytics crew. So, just wanted to start off with a little analytics. And guess what? Thank you, John Park. Thank you, Bryant Davis. but we talked a lot about analytics the last couple of days, so let's keep it moving. Although, someone like, and I love to say this name here, baby, but Sarah Malapalli, right there.
Yes.
She's also second in command here behind John Park. She's big time, again, has come out recently speaking on running backs, and that she maybe overestimated their unimportance. He's basically, they are a little more vital than she maybe would have thought in the past. So running backs, interesting. What are we going to do this year? You see Tony Pollard part of the topic there, but kind of going off of that, let's look at this, baby. The most games with 100 or more rushing yards in a game, number one in history, Emmitt Smith, the great Emmitt Smith. He has 78 games with 100 rushing yards or more. Walter Payton second with 77. Just one back. Again, Emmitt passed him by one. Barry Sanders, 76. Got there faster than everybody, but retired early. Eric Dickerson, 64. Games of 100 yards or more. Jerome Bettis, 61. Edgerrin James, 57 with Curtis Martin. Adrian Peterson, 56. Fred Taylor, 49. LaDainian Tomlinson, 47, along with Franco Harris. It just tells you how hard this to get 100 yards consistently for 78 games is very difficult. Only Emmitt, Walter, and Barry have done that in the history. Getting close to over the 70s when it comes to. And I don't see anybody in this current NFL going to do that.
Hard to see anybody knocking even close to that door.
So again, times have changed. Times have changed when it comes to the running back position. I mean, NFL records for Emmitt Smith, my favorite player of all time. Most career rushing yards, of course, 18,355 rushing yards. Of course, I just said the 100-yard plus games. Emmitt Smith, number one on that list. It doesn't look like anybody's going to catch him there. Most career rushing touchdowns. Now, this is about rushing touchdowns, not catching in other ways, but rushing touchdowns. He leads the NFL in history. Most career rushing touchdowns with 164.
Damn.
And he also has the most career rushing attempts, which makes sense. You get the most yards. So maybe his per game average isn't the best. But the greatest of all time in my book when it comes to perseverance, outlasting the other players, the in your age or whatever it may be, in a running back position where, hey, you're the bell cow, you were the workhorse, and that was Emmitt Smith. Amazing that to get that far. Injuries, consistency, not retiring like Barry did. These are all factors. Jim Brown retired. Earl Campbell had to kind of step away earlier than expected. So I'm just saying, to last like Emmitt did, that's the greatest of all time as far as I'm concerned. The best pure runner, we can debate that. We can say it's Barry Sanders or Jim Brown, but the best running back in the N to the F to the L is Emmitt Smith, and that's proven the facts.
No one was doing it at that high caliber level for as consistently or as long or as well. I think that's the point. It's that's the point. Certain specific categories, maybe Barry Sanders has a little bit on Emmitt. Overall, Emmitt is the best.
Yeah, I mean,
hands down.
And again, I know people, even a Cowboy fans, say that's not really true. I understand the pure running beauty of like Barry Sanders and others out there, Walter Payton, but Payton's I think more like an Emmitt Smith kind of style thing. But Walter Payton was just unbelievable. He was like ballerina out there. But Emmitt Smith was just the one who did it the longest, the best, the most consistent, and that technically, statistically makes you the best. And again, pure runner, that's not Emmitt Smith. But running back, that is Emmitt Smith as far as I'm concerned. Now, we have our own set of running backs here with the Cowboys. And, starting off with little man Deuce Vaughn. No offense by calling him little man, but he is a little man, all right? That's not a diss. But he hosted NFL Pro Camp today for 130 military dependents. All right, he did this today at the USD 207 football field and track complex. This was sponsored by Procter & Gamble, and it was won by Fort Leavenworth Commissary. Again, and Post Exchange for 150 military children. So very good thing there that Deuce Vaughn is doing with the military there, and really with the pro camp for a lot of the military dependents that maybe find it harder, moving around a little bit. It's a very good thing to do there. And then I do want to talk about another camp by the guy who's right now franchise tagged for $10.1 million, and that's Tony Pollard. Holler. So he had his camp going on today, his youth football camp. And who was there? Kelvin Joseph was chilling with them. Tony Pollard.
Well, there you go.
But the good news is that Tony Pollard is out there in the field, just walking around. I'm usually no brace, I'm thinking, all good signs for Mr. 20 here, Tony Pollard, to get on that field TP and run some TDs, kicking it off into week 1. That's what and not preseason. I don't care about that as much. I'm talking about regular season. Pollard, he looks ready. Seems ready. We'll see when training camp hits here in about 10 days how ready. He's ready, ready to get on that field and do some walkthroughs maybe. Hitting, probably not right now. We'll see. Now, Tony Pollard's important. It's important because I think yesterday, was it? I don't know, today, the execs, coaches, and scouts ranked the NFL's top 10 running backs. Once again, we go through a lot of different positions. And we're on offense here. You see a lot of these. We'll talk about them when they pass through my airwaves. But Tony Pollard is on this list. Where do you think he should be, baby? Is it, as the top 10 running back? I mean, he made the list, but where do you think he is?
I mean, somewhere in the top 5, regardless. So, more than that, I don't know, like 3?
So,
maybe?
well, okay.
Like, I don't know, 3. Like,
Pete,
that feels like a little bit of cowboy bias in there, maybe. But I feel like I'm forgetting a few other running backs. So I'm just going to stick with my original answer. Yes, 3.
I think
but
PFF,
he has to be top 5, like, baseline.
PFF had him at like 4. I think they had him through the analytical rankings through them. But here's through like the executives and coaches out there, scouts that know football from the inside out, right? So they ranked Nick Chubb number 1, believe it or not. Christian McCaffrey number 2, Josh Jacobs from the Raiders number 3, Saquon Barkley 4, Derrick Henry 5. So no Tony Pollard there. Jonathan Taylor 6th, Alvin Kamara 7th, Dalvin Cook, free agent, 8th, Tony Pollard 9th. And last, Austin Eckler from the Chargers. So Pollard down there. Now, what's the reasoning for this? Obviously, initially you're like, well, come on, that's a bit low. The highest ranking he was ranked by the scouts and execs and front office people and coaches was 4th. The highest he was ranked. So 3rd was way too high. 4th was the highest people ranked him. His lowest ranking, he would be unranked on some lists. He was not even ranked in top 10. But he's 26 years old, of course. Last year, he was ranked in the top 10? Not in the top 10, obviously. Neither was Zeke. So, at least he made it into that spot. But again, I think it's more about, to me, I would guess it's about his experience being a number 1 back in the NFL. That's hard to put him in the top 10 for some people. And according to the evaluators out there in the NFL, they are high on his ceiling. The Cowboys, took him in as the lead back now, took 190 carries and ran for 1,007 yards, 9 touchdowns. And Zeke now gone. Of course, Pollard, according to all expectation, he's going to surpass the 200 rushes mark, this year. So according to an veteran NFL offensive coach, with no names here, it's all anonymity here, but he said, quote, "I call him a lemonade player. He turns lemons into lemonade, and he makes something out of nothing. It doesn't have to be perfect for him to make plays." That's an offensive offensive coach speaking on what he sees from Tony Pollard. He probably put him pretty high
honestly,
up there, right?
That is one of Pollard's better attributes, the fact that he can not so much make up for a mistake, because usually something's happening on the O-line that's hard to beat, but when he's out there, he creates space for himself, or honestly just uses others' momentum and, I don't know, just manages to kind of push himself off of that. So I think he does a great job of managing that specifically.
Yeah, I agree. And again, when you see him, that's one of his skills. That's definitely, a part of his repertoire for sure. Another AFC personnel person added, quote, speed, man. He's got major burst, which we all know as well. So all these things, the ceiling is high. He's got these awesome skills as running back. The Cowboys put in the franchise tag, $10.1 million. We know the issue with the running back, market right now. It's kind of going down, and you don't want to spend too much on a running back with the longevity. But one of the reasons why he was ranked lower, some people ranked him not even ranked in the top 10, according to a veteran NFL head coach, said this, quote, "I like the player, but I need to see him do it another year before I place him in the top 10. I just need to see more." So it's not about like he can't do it. It's about just seeing higher volume as a lead back for an NFL team for an entire season. So, I don't know how you feel about that.
I don't know why. I feel like Tony Pollard, for some reason, I feel like the perception of him is that maybe he's just not as big or as strong as he actually seems to be, and I feel like that perception still kind of lingers a bit. And again, even us in Dallas, we kind of forget that he's very similar to Zeke in size and in stature, obviously not so much in power. So maybe that's why people just, I don't know, have that perception. I feel like that's more of a perception issue. So honestly, Tony Pollard's probably going to go out there and kick some serious ass and prove a lot of those people wrong.
That would be a very successful season for us if Pollard can get out there and going. So
especially with, McCarthy leading the fold.
Yeah, agree. So, Pollard had his camp there. Kelvin Joseph was there. Who else was, I talk about Kelvin Joseph defense. Let's talk a little defense here real quick. Today at the Sportscon in Dallas. Yes, in Dallas, guys. I mean, if you're there, you can hit that up. There was some wrestling activities, boxing activities. People spoke, different legendary Cowboys and current Cowboys were there speaking. Hall of Famer Bob Lilly was there. You got Mozzy Smith, who made an appearance with Sam Williams, doing some military bowl. So they were doing the military bowl. I think Mozzy was involved and Sam Williams. They were very adamant. It was fun to see those guys running around there. Rookie Mozzy Smith, second-year guy, Sam Williams. So, they were out there having fun. Also, tomorrow is the final day of SportsCon. Jason Witten and Michael Irvin will be there at SportsCon. Nice. So check it out if you guys are going to go out there. But the main person I want to bring back to the fold here out of everybody is this guy right here, Mozzy Smith. Now, the reason I say this is because to me, there's a couple of ways. Listen to this. A couple of ways that Mozzy Smith is going to definitely help improve our defense. And I'm not just talking about, he's a big body in the middle, just not going to do anything but just stand there and take on double teams. Mozzy's addition is going to have a positive ripple effect, in my opinion, throughout the entire Cowboy defense. I've said it before. I'm kind of displaying it in a different way now, but his effect on this defense, along with Jonathan Hankins, changes the defense, and it makes everyone better. So this is something that we haven't had in a long time inside. Two beefy guys and their space eaters that we've been looking at more in the past, in the recent years of Marinelli. We've been looking at speedier, faster guys inside instead of the big heft. But now we got heft. We got some beef there, and now we're gonna have two guys with Hankins, and of course rookie Mozzy Smith, two 320-pound plus defensive tackles, one tech type guys to hold up the point of attack on the line of scrimmage, control that line of scrimmage, making opposing teams not able to control the clock, not able to control the game anymore by running between the tackles inside, at will. Usually that's where the biggest issue is, as we know that, and it hurts when you don't have that big interior. It hurts your linebackers like LVE and others. So now with two guys in there, this won't, whether it happens sometimes or not, they might still run on us a couple games and stuff, these teams, but it will be better across the board. Imagine this same defense. If you had whatever happens this year, imagine it last year, it would have been a lot worse, is my point. Stopping the run. So no matter what, this year, the defense with these two guys inside, the run defense will 1,000% be better. Now, how much better, that could be debated, but it will be better than last year. That's a guarantee. So, again, they're not going to be able to wear us down as easily, control the clock as easily with two guys like Hankins and Mozzy Smith in the middle, whether they're rotation in there or they're both in there in the game at the same time, which may happen. So, I think that's something major that Mozzy's bringing to the mix here. And, again, Mozzy Smith's strength, his athleticism, for someone his size. Again, for this defense, that's the one thing we've never had the last 2 years. Let's be honest. There's, other than Hankins coming on board for half a season.
Yeah, exactly.
We've never had a guy that does that.
Or the other, in the sense of, we've had strong guys before. We've had guys who can move well before.
Fast guys, quick guys inside.
It's similar to how Micah, too. Micah moves much, much faster than someone his size really has any right to in a lot of ways. Just, and his agility when he does it too. Speed is one thing, but it's all of that combined, and he seems to have not just that combination of, again, size versus speed, but also a little bit of agility there. As much agility as a guy his size
definitely
have.
Listen, all the stuff all that stuff with the staircase and he was doing out there. That kind of the power and the strength is his main thing, but he's got other abilities, and it's not just sitting there taking double teams. So I just want to say, just doing that, taking the double teams, that in itself is going to help everybody else. It's a ripple effect. and he's going to be somebody that affects opposing offenses. Just want to say, this kind of helps tie in the defense to kind of a more complete defense, which I think will equal more consistency because we'll be slowing down the run more often. Now, another big thing about this, again, with a big man like him and Hankins anchoring the inside, the middle of the defensive line, the Cowboy linebackers are going to be kept cleaner. This is huge. We talked about Damone Clark last night. Saw him trying to do some pass coverage stuff. I specifically spoke about LVE manning the middle as the middle linebacker range area there. He needs to be cleaner. When he stays clean, we had Hankins. He was like a fucking superstar, LVE out there, when we had Hankins playing more than 50% of the snaps. Now with Hankins and Mozzy Smith, let's say a total of 50% of the snaps are played by those two guys. Whatever the combinations, or one and then the other, if they both total up 50% or more of the snaps, LV is going to be kept extremely clean, along with Damone Clark, Jabril Cox, Overshown, Micah Parsons, and everyone else back there. They will be kept cleaner much more consistently than we were last year. That's another fact. That's not a up in the air thing. That will definitely happen. So again, when you have a guy like Hankins, it showed. Now you got a guy that's a young Hankins, let's just call him, and it should show with him as well. Either guy in the game should help keep the linebackers, LVE specifically, clean. By clean, I mean they should not be blocking Mozzy for a second and then letting him go to go get LVE. That kills us. That's a 5-yard run already right there. What Mozzy will do is keep them kind of suctioned longer to him, and that means they delayed to go and leave him to go to the second level. By then, LVE is closing the gap. And then no gain, 2-yard gain, 1-yard gain, nothing. Not like a 5-6-yard gain on first down. So that is how important Mozzy Smith, and of course retaining Jonathan Hankins, but I'm talking about our future here. It's not Hankins. Our future is Mozzy Smith. So
exactly, Hankins is just here to
help
guide him.
Yeah, he's a guide for him, kind of like Peter. Again, he's still effective, Hankins, and I think both guys here's what both guys do the rotation. If you get them both totaled 50% of the snaps, defensive snaps, you keeping Hankins kind of healthier,
extending his longevity,
and
which
you're also,
is, of course, important,
right, on Hankins for the season. Not for his career, but let's just say a season. While Mozzy is still learning, he still needs a little time to develop, right? So you're giving him time to get ready.
Just throwing him right into the fire.
I believe this is what Dan Quinn's plan has been. When they got Mozzy Smith, it's about Hankins will play, let's say 40% in the beginning. The first game, Mozzy might play 10%. And then the second game is going to be 25-25. Then the next game, Mozzy might go 30, and Hankins goes 20. But they got to get to that 50% mark. That keeps our defense cleaner, better, stronger, more consistent, and more dominant overall because we're stopping the run more consistently. So, anyways, but I also think that him keeping the linebackers clean, like LV and others, Damone Clark, makes it a lot easier for them to make plays both in the running game and in the passing game, considering the youth and the inexperience at that position right now at the linebacker spot. That's very good for someone like Mozzy Smith able to do this. Mozzy Smith's addition could prove really the most beneficial at any position on the field to the linebackers, which really makes us, again, improve that run-stopping defense. I do want to say, remind everybody, I just explained to you how it helps us, how Mozzy would help us in the run game. How would he help us in the pass game? Well, because he holds the gaps longer and he doesn't, the linebackers like LV can trust him to kind of like cover that gap. And LV can see if it's a play action. He can see if it's a pass or not. He can spend a half second less worrying about that. That puts him in a better coverage spot, whether it's zone or man, mostly zone. That puts LV in a much better place when in coverage as well. So that's how it also helps the passing game, for the defensive passing game for us. And also, of course, what can he bring to the pass rush? Which kind of like the other point here I want to make with him, guys, because Mozzy Smith's addition to the defensive line has the potential, of course, the running game is much improved, but it also will help our pass rush. And I think you've said this before, when you have to give extra attention to Mozzy Smith and you might have to double team him because he's a big guy, you will leave other guys open on that defensive line, maybe with less double teams up there. So, again, guys, if more attention is shifted to Mozzy Smith in the middle, it's going to free up Micah Parsons. It's going to free up DeMarcus Lawrence and others, Sam Williams. And also, if they start to focus more on the other guys, then now you got Mozzy Smith in some one-on-ones inside. That might be beneficial to Mozzy Smith. I'm trying to say, like, if he can develop a little bit more there, that can be a key to him being. Now they don't know who you going to block. Ghostbusters. I mean, so I'm just saying, like, you're kind of. It's just really about how Dan Quinn chooses to rush the passer this year. So, I think Mozzy is bringing a lot to the play. I don't know if you have any thoughts on this, baby, or if the chat has any thoughts.
I mean,
on
I
this.
kind of shared my thoughts as you kind of brought them up throughout. So, Cactus G throwing out there that Pop-Tart, is it Mozzy, said that he's been called a refrigerator rolling downhill.
I can't wait to see it.
That is quite the compliment.
We'll be seeing that. We'll be seeing that in 2 weeks, in like almost 2.5 weeks. They'll be on the field hitting. That's when we'll truly see the refrigerator rolling downhill.
I literally pictured like a refrigerator rolling downhill wearing a Cowboys uniform. Oh, cracking me up. So, Tim, honestly, no real thoughts about Zeke not being with the Cowboys. It is what it is, and if anything, it's a net positive. So, Retro Scotty in the house. What's up, much
Cowboys
love?
are not showing interest in him. What's up, Retro in the house?
Oh, so going back, and by the way, I did see a comment here asking as far as our simulations. Not sure yet, guys, just because YouTube kind of changed some of their rules and stuff like that. So, not really sure what the plan is as far as the simulations, but stay tuned, because they haven't gone away forever. They're just going to have to change a little bit, I think.
I'm not sure. I don't even know if I want to risk it.
That's what I said. We will have to see.
We don't want to risk it, but at the same time, we'll see how we do these. I don't know. Even if it's recorded, I don't know if I can keep it. We can maybe do I don't know.
Again, like I said, we're still trying to figure out exactly how we can do that.
Yeah.
So
we'll see how that goes along. So I did want to say,
Retro Scotty, happy birthday to your mom for her birthday. Happy birthday.
A sound I have not heard all night. The man Marco Seppian coming through, kicking it off here, almost at the end of the stream, kicking it off here. Marco Seppian with the 5 on it, another 5 on it, and Cowboys Abroad now in the house, and gets his membership.
Skeptical fan,
from
much
who?
love.
From who? By who? Skeptical fan, always staying skeptical.
Yes.
Well, again, that just came flying right in. Truly thank both of you guys, Marco Seppian and Skeptical Fan. Again, Skeptical, I'm going to move him up on the overall leaderboard when it comes to the gifting memberships. Marco Seppian right behind. Again, right now they're still the same distance apart because they both dropped the 5s basically, but Mark is 5 closer, I guess you could say, until the Skeptical Fan drop. So again, much love to both these guys. Again, congrats to Cowboys Abroad for getting the membership back in there again. Thank you so much, Skeptical Fan, dropping the 5 on it there for the membership gifting, which, by the way, baby, he had 35 last month. That's the all-time record. He currently, basically halfway through, right? 35 last month. He has 27 this month. Wow. Much love, Skeptical Fan. Again, I know what Skeptical said. Go Cowboys.
Always go Cowboys.
What did the man Marco Seppian say as he's trying to get into that first place spot and 97 Osa Odigizua points on the stream, boss? What do you say?
You know how I don't care for Dak, but he won't be the reason we lose. An injury to the O-line will expose us big time. Dak's arm isn't good enough to compensate. And honestly, even the QBs whose arm is good enough to compensate still deeply struggle with that.
Losing your best offensive, well, now he's not the best anymore, but losing one of your best offensive linemen or not having any depth, that would hurt any quarterback. So I agree. It's hard to put things. Again, I hope Mark understands that we're not going to be saying that's an excuse if Dak loses Tyron Smith and the Cowboy front office has not allowed the coaching staff to fill that up with an experienced veteran. They're going to say, no, let's go and roll the dice. You see that? So is that Dak's fault? Is that even the coach's fault to some extent? No. That is, and you know what I'm going to do, right, baby? You know whose fault that is.
Oh, yeah. I have a feeling we're going to be honking here.
The clown can show. The clown can show, guys. That's what it is, unfortunately. And that's where, listen, Dalton Reisner off my list because he's got something major going on with him, some knee issue. All right, I can understand it, but let's find somebody else. Maybe we should have drafted Osiris Torrance over Luke Schoonmaker to secure that future offensive line. Did the scouts, did Will McClay not have him high? Was that the reason why? I don't know, Clown Show, but if you don't go draft one, you go get one in free agency. The Cowboys haven't even really looked. Some people have told me, literally in the comments, Chuma Adoga is the answer. No, he's a left and right tackle. He's more of a swing tackle than a guard. He could try in there, but But that's not where you want to see Chuma Edoga play. Well, let's go give him a try at guard. I mean, you want to tackle Josh Ball playing guard as well. These guys, what are we doing? Taking all our tackles, turning them into guards. That's what the clown show considers successful. I call it clown show. Anyways.
So
much love, Mark, kicking it off. Much love, the Skeptical Fan, dropping the love here. And congrats to Cowboys Abroad for being now back in the membership.
That's right.
So, now, again, Mozzy, we talked about him a lot. I gave you my breakdown. I don't know if anybody else said anything about Mozzy Smith specific. But when it comes to Mozzy, I think he's going to provide more than we think, more than we know, when it comes to not just the inside stopping the run, the obvious stuff, but and keeping our linebackers clean and helping in the run and pass side of things. But I think what it also does is really, it's a trickle-down effect to the rest of the defense, a ripple effect throughout our defense. Defensive line, linebackers, and coverage. It helps across the board in multiple different ways in the run game and the pass game. Mozzy Smith, I believe, is a value pick at the position where we need it at and for the future. Let's hope, knock on wood, this is the right move and nothing happens and he stays on track. That's my hope. So the Mozzy Smith discussion is now past, right? It's now over. But we will talk about, we went from offense, right? We talked about Tony Pollard, the little defense of Mozzy Smith. Let's talk special teams. Now we know our new kicker right here, 3 for 3 from 60 in this video he put out there. Brandon Aubrey. No, he's not really part of my discussion today, but it's more about our past, baby. And that's what I want to discuss with you, because you're going to like, double R. Part of the membership. Why is that, baby?
Because Skeptical Fan, once again, dropping that membership love.
He put the membership out there, and now we got double R and that navy blue crew. Drop those emojis.
Ooh, drop them if you got them. And yes, guys, thank you so much, Skeptical Fan. Once again, there, sharing the love.
Man, he is now. Love. Yeah, and I thought I saw something like that. I don't know if it was a repeat, but it basically was a repeat because Marco Seppian also drops 5, staying neck and neck there with Skeptical Fan as they matching each other tonight. So he still keeps Skeptical in the lead. Marco Seppian with that 5 on it and fully loaded in that stream, boss. What did the man say?
He said, I agree, Mrs. MCF. At least with the so-called elite quarterback, they'll give you a chance. Not Dak's fault at all. He needs lots of help, and Jerry Jones missed on the O-line. And that's
the Osiris Torrance option there.
Exactly,
right?
But that's why, that also does go hand in hand with, I understand why a lot of people are saying this is kind of Dak's last chance with them. Because, man, outside of maybe a few little particulars on the O-line and maybe a look here or there at tight end, we are very, very deep at basically every position, and I mean it's hard to beat that.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what's better than that? So just end it out there. Clark Kent, what's up? Much love, by the way. Retro Scotty, shout out to you. I forgot to shout you out earlier.
Clark Kent, yes. Kenzie Bands, Jason Renfro, Skeptical Fan. Appreciate everybody here in the house. Now, kickers. Again, I'm talking about kickers. Brandon Aubrey, another try here. Last year was Garibay. Went back to Maher. Some people, I think, some must be younger fans, think that Maher, is a guy we can trust. But again, they forgot that he, what he did a couple years ago with us, being so inconsistent. Kind of similar to that last year, except it didn't really happen until the playoffs, with the most important time frame. So when you look at kickers in the NFL, the last 10 league leaders in field goal percentage. Now, it's not Brandon Aubrey, but with a minimum of 15 attempts, all right? The last 10 league leaders in field goal percentage in 2022, Cameron Dicker, the kicker, guys, 95.5%. Justin Tucker in 2021. In 2020, you had Jason Myers and Mason Crosby. In 2019, Josh Lambo. In 2018, Robbie Gold. Yeah, out there still a free agent. 2017, Graham Gano. 2016, Justin Tucker again. 2015, Josh Brown from the Giants. And also, baby, your all-time favorite, Daniel Bailey. All right. 2014 is Adam Vinatieri. In 2013, Matt Prater, who is also a free agent basically out there right now. But my point going back to Dan Bailey. Dan Bailey, guys, again, do you remember, I know, baby, this is where you kind of got started into the football side of things, but the Cowboys had the best kicker in the league for like about 3 years in Dan Bailey. This guy was talked about with with the Tucker. Kind of those two guys
good,
are up there.
So consistent, just world class.
He went 112 out of 122 kicks. You hear? Mm-hmm. Out of 122 kicks, he made 112 of these from 2012, 13, 14, and 15. For that 4 year span, Dan Bailey missed 10 kicks out of 122. He was a 92% accuracy. And don't forget the extra points in that range from that time frame. He made 165 out of 165 extra points. So in 4 years, he missed 10 total kicks.
No wonder we're so spoiled when it comes to our expectations for
our current kicker.
Right?
Well, but it's also, I see other teams, successful teams, they find the kicker, they pay the kicker, they stick with that kicker.
Yeah.
There was, at the time, and back in those years that I just mentioned, there was a legitimate debate between who was better. Was it Tucker? Was it Dan Bailey? Again, the injuries is what plagued his career, unfortunately, for Dan Bailey.
Yeah.
He to me, he was automatic in his prime. In those 4 years, one of the best kickers in the league was Dan Bailey, without a question. Of course, do you remember when that all ended, baby? Do you remember the Dan Bailey era ended?
He got hurt,
yeah,
and then we basically moved on.
Right, but do you remember the game?
No, actually, I can't remember.
It was a Niners. I remember that was a Niners game, and that's when Jeff Heath had to come in there. But you remember how he got hurt? He was on the sidelines kicking into that field goal net. Mm-hmm. And he twisted something there, tweaked something, and at that point, he never was been the same. Even when he got a little bit on track there with Minnesota, he was there, he still never really
the equivalent
stuck it
of
out.
Getting hurt, during the warm-ups before a game.
Yeah, that sucked a lot. And I don't know if it was warm-ups. I think it was during the game.
Okay.
Where he was doing that. And then all of a sudden, you had to, after an extra point or something, he was warming up before a kick or something, and he hurt something. So ever since then, never been the same. And he, kind of like puttered out there in Minnesota. But, at the same time, for Garrett's offense, he was too good. A problem because of how conservative Jason Garrett has always been. So Garrett would love settling for points, settling for field goals, knowing that they were automatic with a Dan Bailey.
Yeah, people like
he
to
was
make
so
jokes
good.
about Beasley being Dak's kind of safety blanket those early years, right? Well,
yeah.
Dan Bailey was Garrett's safety blanket basically the entire time that Dan Bailey was Dan Bailey.
I love that comparison. That was very accurate.
It's true.
There.
Again,
yeah.
He was very complacent with not being more aggressive on offense because, well, why wouldn't you go for the more basically automatic 3 points?
And that's why right now, we had Maher. What did we do last year? Went back to we know Maher can hit him from deep. And what does that mean for Mike McCarthy? He's going to have to take bigger shots with kicks now, 60 yards, 55 yards on a regular basis. I don't know if I want to see that when we have such a good defense. So, great kickers. If we got a Mason Crosby, we got in here a Robbie Gould, then what would happen? I think that a great kicker would reinforce coward coaches. So, and I call Garrett a cowardly coach because he would just take the points. We know we lost that Houston game in overtime because of cowardice. So going for the win, going for the tie, and I say the tie in overtime, it's kind of just be up by 3. We let the Houston Texans run down the field and beat us. So Garrett liked Bailey so much, like he knew he could always rely on just kicking the ball and don't worry about it. Bailey will make it. And I'm kind of glad, in a way, again, I'd rather have a guy who can make the field goals no matter where you're kicking from and have a coach that can balance that out the right way. But with this new kicker, with the unknown from him of kicking from over 50 yards, we got Terrence Dangerfield here.
Thank you for subbing it up.
I never get no respect. Much love, Terrence. Appreciate you. Now you're part of the family here. Welcome to the familia. And go Cowboys. So, again, with Brandon Aubrey, again, I think we'll see him in training camp. Of course, kicking field goals from different lengths, distances. Are we going to have him in preseason kicking field goals as well from different distances? If he makes them and he's solid, I think that McCarthy's going to want to make sure we kick this field goal with this guy inside of 50 yards if possible. If we have to go 53-yard or something like that, he could still make them off of these videos here, 60 yards. He was 3 for 3 in these videos. He put this out. We saw his kickoffs going to average about 77 yards. I seen another video, though, baby. His kickoffs were going like a little shorter than that, and then some of them were hitting like the 5-yard line mark. So we got to make sure we keep an eye on that still, even though he had some good tape. He had some bad tape. Just keep an eye on those kickoffs as well. So we'll see, Brandon. But my biggest thing is this. The Cowboys will not be kicking no 57-yard field goal with this guy if they don't need to now. I'd rather they go for it on 4th and 3 and take the chance, or I'd rather they punt it. And coffin corner kick him, punt them back, and knock them back there in their own fucking 10-yard line, and let's let the defense out. That's where our specialties, our defense, not our special teams. So that's what I'm seeing.
Which again was also another factor way back in the day as far as why not kick the field goal, because defense was not so great in those days.
Yep. So as you see, our new kicker here, Brandon Aubrey, again, former MLS soccer player, Notre Dame college player. Of course, soccer was his whole life. Now he's soccer kicking this football here with the side of his foot. Bam. Kind of giving that good football kick, hitting field goals there from 60 yards, trying to show that he's got leg, even though that's his biggest kind of knock against him. We'll see. I'm hoping that we can strike gold. Not Robbie gold. We can strike gold with this kicker. I'm not going to hold my breath until we see it consistently with the crowd screaming and yelling. The pressure's on. Wind, snow, rain, different kind of situational football for him until I can say, okay, this guy, you need a year or two of this guy being consistent, and then we can say all aboard the Brandon Aubrey train. So maybe I know we're talking about him hitting it here and hitting the goal. I mean, we got to make sure we do some shout outs here. Yeah,
you got to hit the like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, follow us on all social media at MyCowboysFamily, and don't forget to hop into the Discord. Link for that's in the description box down below. And of course, extra special shout out, sponsor of the week and stream boss, Mark Hovsepian.
99 points from Mr. Mark Hovsepian from Hawaii.
Almost fully loaded there.
Almost a sliver away. Boom. And, of course, that doesn't stop there.
Can't forget the Cash App King.
Of course not. You know the Cash App King.
Jason Renfro.
Boom. Repping Randy White's jersey.
Thank you,
right
Jason.
there. Much
Appreciate
love.
you. Much love.
And the leader in the Cash App, none other than, why he's here, Snug X. Again, all these guys on the board. First place currently, Skeptical Fan on the overall board. Marco Seppian behind him. We'll see how this kind of teeters out. Appreciate everybody here. And, of course, different ways of dropping the love. There's Super Chat.
And of course, you saw that, the membership gifting. Yeah. Thank you, Skeptical, again. But you also have the Cash App, money sign My Cowboys Family, the Venmo at My-Cowboys-Family, your regular PayPal link, and last but not least, Streamlabs as well. I appreciate everybody who's dropped in here. And you guys know this year has been a little tougher with the YouTube side of things, so appreciate everybody who's been dropping the love through there throughout our months and months here of YouTubing here this year. Of course, this is our 6th year, entering our 7th year on the YouTube streets. Now, finishing up, baby, we got one last kind of story, interesting story nonetheless, but it is a story that involves Jerry Jones. And where we're going to go next, the next big thing for the Cowboys is Oxnard. All right, so we know, Jerry Jones, he's always up to something. Oxnard neighbors right now saying that the Dallas Cowboys, meaning Jerry Jones, crossed the line, building a platform inches away from their property. Basically tent-like structures. Surprised residents before training camp. And the team says that the city standards, this is what Jerry Jones and the Cowboys are saying, is that city standards were met. Baby, I know you have more details on this. Basically, we followed all the rules.
Yeah, I mean, I want to hear about this, but first I want to show people what we're talking about. And that's this right here. So you can see here, this is the platform, like a stage where they're going to be doing stuff. Now, behind them, you see this brick wall. You see people's backyards. There's issues relating to that, according to the people that live there. All right, and Jerry Jones, he's in a little discussion here with city officials in Oxnard, causing issues in this Oxnard field. Baby, what's the breakdown of what's going on here, when it comes to the Cowboys' upcoming training camp and the issues that we're seeing?
Some attorneys were hired by people who live in this Southern California local community because, like you kind of mentioned here, the Cowboys, about a week after the team kind of got there, they built a tall temporary structure inches from their property without any notice.
Now, and you're saying when they got there, I mean, again, we're talking about the team's not there, obviously.
Yeah, no, like I said, they're obviously setting up and training and getting everything ready.
Yeah, the building team, the team of Cowboy contractors that are here to hire to build this structure.
So, a few neighbors who are obviously not just a few, but the neighbors whose backyard borders the white tart deck said that the project, quote, compromised their security and privacy, obstructed a view which they paid a premium for, blocked essential garden sunlight, and reduced their home value.
That's a lot of claims right there.
So, and apparently there was some issues with the construction workers as well. This wasn't just... Yes, it gets even better.
Jerry wants to know if there was a glory hole involved. Sorry, okay, go ahead.
So, basically, even though the Cowboys and the foundation assembly basically like gave him the green light, like, yeah, sure, Jerry, do what you need to do. Until July 1st was the scale of the project actually made clear to, the people who are going to be affected, like the people who live there, right? So that weekend, several workers were installing wood flooring a few inches away from their, like, back wall there. So a little bit weird. One
very close
mom said, quote, to wake up on a Saturday with your pajamas on, there's a whole bunch of men looking in from the outside. It's very disrespectful. Went out to say that it was like her and her kid were like in their pajamas and it was just random people just staring at you.
I mean,
so
you do kind of have to like close your drapes, I guess. But all right, I guess they didn't like this. They didn't pay this premium money for this property to have people working there.
Lots of snowbirds sunbathe here, and very interesting. Just saying. You never know. Anyway, let's keep rolling here. Like I said, Jerry Jones. So
people were happy with Jerry Jones doing his thing here, but it seems like
now they're not too happy. I was gonna say, it kind of changed gears, right? She went on to add, the mom here said, we're just not thrilled, and we're gonna do whatever we got to do, because at the end of the day, I'm sure Jerry wouldn't allow someone to build on the back of his home either.
Well, that is true as well.
And it's funny because last year there was they even cited the article of residents basically saying, like, no, we love it. This is great. Lots of the little small inconveniences that come from obviously having the Dallas Cowboys in their training camp ended up usually being minor and was worth it. Things, just like maybe lots of noise.
It wasn't a lot of big issues going on. Yeah, it wasn't a lot of issues.
People cutting through your yard. Like, yeah, it wasn't like major, oh man, shut this shit down type of issues. Just, I think, normal. There's probably a bunch of people here. And they're
willing to sacrifice that for the Cowboys to be in their backyard, basically. I think that was the deal struck. But then obviously things have changed since this platform was built, or it looks like they took that picture I showed you guys, and what I think they did was basically cover that, what you're seeing here, with a tarp, a white tarp, and they're probably going to put stuff on top of it too, and probably TV cameras, and it's going to block their view. They're not going to be very happy with Jerry Jones for blocking their view of the Cowboys. That's the other thing they don't like either. I'm guaranteeing it. But let me let you finish so I got full context here.
So, and another resident basically said, we've been dealing with the noise. We understand they have to play their music for the players. We've been nice about it. We haven't complained about it being like a rock and roll concert out there. So we've been nice. But I think the Cowboys took our kindness as weakness, and they kind of crossed the line.
I think that, don't you think that they like, of course they're allowing this because they're part of it, they're watching it, they're getting something out of it as well. I'm not saying they gotta love everything football or Cowboys, but
several people kind of chimed in and gave their thoughts on that specifically.
Speak on it, baby.
So first of all, let's get into some of the more technical stuff. So a Cowboys spokesperson said that Friday the city of Oxnard approved all of their plans and that requested that the white covering be added to the structure in response to residents' privacy concerns. So basically that's when you saw like a bunch of the tents go up and stuff like that. Neighbors said that, it helps with the privacy, but it looks ugly. So
it's it blocks their plants from getting adequate sunlight. That's what we're hearing, right? Skeptical fan, we're hearing him with that J. Lou $2 holler.
Woo.
And he said, just relocate the neighborhood to Jerry's yacht. Just move all the people there.
Just put the whole yacht will fit in
give
there.
Give them 28 days of yacht sailing, and then that should
just move the whole yacht and just plop in the middle of that part.
Much love, Skeptical. Taking Mark to Osa, 97 points up there. I'm that stream boss. Skeptical fan still in the lead on the overall board.
So, also that there was some maybe contention with some of the construction workers while they were building that, just because obviously it was so close to the people. There's obviously some interactions. Nothing really Cowboy related or relevant, but they're still kind of saying, hey, Cowboys, like, these are the people that you hired. You can't keep them in check. So,
and Jerry hired a bunch of workers out there too, right? I know there was some complaints with the construction workers.
That's what I...
Oh, did you ready to get through that whole thing?
Well, yeah, I just kind of summarized it.
Okay, all right. Okay, because Jerry, I mean, again...
okay, I guess.
No. They're a little intimidating is all the thing, but them all staring in there. I know you discussed that. Yeah. The ladies talked about it earlier. I don't know if you had said it about now, but either way,
she I mentioned it earlier when she was upset about the construction workers. Obviously, like
some people are
like staring at her.
Some of the construction workers are saying that they're getting sprayed by some of the owners with water and other stuff. So
I mean, if I didn't know any better, some random ass people just showed up in my property. Yeah, I spraying with water or whatever too. I guess
some of the people are saying, Jerry, we're not even hanging our flag out there.
Yes, lots of people
they feel betrayed.
Are not, feeling like repping the Cowboys after this, especially because one of the perks and draws of living where they live was being able to kind of hang out with the Cowboys during that
see a great view,
Yeah, so pretty much lots of people shared their thoughts on this.
There was 5 homes. I think there's 9 people, but there's 5 residencies. I think they spoke to 4 of them.
So, yes. Let me see here. So, all 4 said that they believe they'd feel better about the situation if the Cowboys had communicated it a little bit more proactively, right? But, again, I'm not really sure what kind of communication I think would have happened there, just because it sounds like the intent was to kind of pull a fast one here, right?
Well, yeah, I think that's where they're upset. And I think Jerry's rude, and that's what they're saying. Cowboys will hold their... Listen, 24th, the players land. On July 24th, to Oxnard, the field right there above, off to the side there. You see the field where they're going to be at. But that spot there, the Cowboy players will be checking in on the 24th, arriving to Oxnard. They will be getting their physicals and doing some checks and tests. On the 26th will be their first practice held in front of people. That will not be in That will not be in pads. That will be a walkthrough style thing. They'll be in sweatpants and their jerseys and a helmet. That's it. So shells and shorts. So that's what pretty much you'll see until the 31st of July when they go out there and start hitting. So that's the way it's looking for training camp. There's the issue you're seeing being caused by Jerry. I'm curious what the chat thinks about it, but.
Just to give you another example, too, this woman, Michelle Payne, right? She actually kind of liked working out with the Cowboys while they were doing their workouts. So, like, while they were doing their stretching and stuff, she would follow along with them. And she basically said she's been doing it for a little while. She really got a kick out of it, really enjoyed doing it. Obviously now, no longer able to. All she sees is a big, white, ugly-ass tent outside her house.
Everybody now is pissed because, they think Jerry, they said, quote, I want to unzip the tent when Jerry's here and say, Jerry, how rude. These are the quotes we're getting from people. Listen, I understand they're upset. And listen, it does suck. But if the Cowboys have the right, and it seems like the city said it's okay. I know maybe Jerry tried to sneak it in. Jerry got money. Jerry knows the game. Jerry's going to, he's going to make sure that by the time you do anything, they're gone already. It's not even going to make a difference anymore. So these people have to just take it. Jerry's going to win this one, I think, and win it out with money and time. He's going to be able to delay it enough so they're out of Oxnard. So it's not going to be an issue. This was probably the plan the whole time from Jerry, but to me, it's like you got to kind of work through it and make the best you can out of that situation. That kind of sucks. But you were getting a break before, right? You were getting a break in the past, seeing that now. Now the Cowboys have the right to do that. Jerry Jones has the right to do that. Doesn't mean it's right, but he has the right. And so he shall, I guess. So is that it, baby? I don't know if there's any other comments. So what does the family think here in the chat about the situation?
Here, let's see. Cactus G said, just take the leftover lumber, build a platform, get your lawn chairs, some beer, and go Cowboys.
I like that idea.
Skeptical fan much love saying, are those structures temporary?
Yeah, oh yeah.
They're supposed to be.
Yeah, it is 100% temporary. Everything the Cowboys bring, they leave, and they leave the field as it was before they arrived. And that's been the deal with them. They bring in so much money to the city of Oxnard, so they don't want that ever gone. And again, the people that live there get a little bonus. Now it's a little harder of a bonus, but nonetheless, they still get a better view than you guys do, right? So unless you're sitting there front row, they don't have the best view in the house. Maybe they have the 5th best view of the house. I don't know.
Right. Oh, Thomas Garrett, much love. Double R. Let me see. Thomas Garrett said, sounds like they're mad because they can't see the practice.
That's what it sounds like to me.
But you know what? On one hand, I kind of get it. It sounds like part of the draw is, hey, you can live here. You're living in this location. You get this beautiful view of this thing here. And then you also get Dallas Cowboys. So. Yeah. So. Saying Jerry.
It works.
Sue them for the property rights.
Yeah, Jerry knows what he's doing. And listen, I think that's the main thing is they're worried about the covering their plants from getting sunlight. I mean, I think that's a little bit weak sauce right there. So look, whatever it is. It's going to be there for freaking 28 days or whatever it is the Cowboys are there for, and then it's gone. They'll live. They'll get still a little bit of bonus from the views and the fun and insight they're going to get from almost feeling like you're part of it. Sucks for 5 households, but they'll live. All right, that's the way I see it. And Jerry, again, it's not like Jerry's doing something wrong or trying to like screw them over in the sense of like doing it on purpose. I mean, I guess he did it late so he can get it done, but that's his right. So there you go. He got it done.
I guess.
I mean,
I guess I can believe my way through shit too. Anyway,
Jerry Jones, you can.
Much love. So Cactus D said he might mean they're temporary and they'll be done before training camp, or that will they be there during training camp? So no, that I expect this structure to last throughout the entirety of training camp. Yeah,
these are being set up for them to be ready before the players get there on the 24th, 26th. The practice is out going there. Fans can see it on the 26th of July, and then the 31st of July is when they start hitting with pads and everything. So, and there's I think there's 12 days that fans can see the practices. So if you're out there near there, planning to go out there, make sure you check the list and make sure they're practicing and you get up close and personal. Not up close and personal, but you definitely get up close to seeing what the Cowboys are kind of practicing drills and some of these players are doing, individually out there on the field.
Let me see.
Fun
Mikey High Night said maybe Jerry should pass out free glory hole passes to the neighbors.
I don't know. I mean,
that's one way to get them on board.
Yeah.
that might work for a few of them.
I don't know.
Rolando
Jerry
much
Glory
love.
Hole.
He said the Cowboys don't need to be there. They have $1 billion building in Texas.
Yes,
but the weather in Texas means that billion-dollar team is basically gonna turn into a brisket. And
they're gonna be will be added injuries. But again, this is where Jerry loves to go and chill for a month. I like it and I don't like it. I like that the weather is better, but it also means to me it just makes it feel like with everybody watching, everybody right on top of it, it's a big show. It's more of a show than it is really we're going to find anything out about these guys. It's just really about, they're not going to give away their scheme secrets here for everybody to see. People think they can go there and figure it all out. It's not going to, you're going to see basic drills out there. And you're going to see some guys do some cool shit. They got to do well in preseason games and the lights come on. And then we'll see, how they last throughout the season and what goes on from there. But again, this is just a good kind of, idea of what you're seeing from our new and old Dallas Cowboy players in 2023 for this training camp.
Agreed. So, and with that said, baby, I think that brings us to the end of the night. So, guys, if you are here, drop them if you got them. Say your hellos, your highs, and goodbyes now because it is that time of the night. So, thank you once again to the people making FCF happen here.
Yeah.
Sponsor of the week and stream boss Marco Seppi.
The man from Hawaii.
Cash App King Jason Renfro.
Hell yeah.
Membership man, Skeptical Fan.
Hell yeah. And also, he's the overall leader coming for that sponsor of the week. Just a little bit over Marco Seppian right now. That's going to be a battle to tomorrow. The battle to the finish here, guys. Camera on. Lights, camera, action. We'll be on stream tomorrow here talking Cowboy football. Wrapping up the week. Maybe a little Q&A with the family. And let's have some fun finishing this week as we're now really, really close, guys. Really 10 days away from training camp kickoff, basically. I'm going to just paraphrase it to, we're at 10, maybe 9 days now at this point. Single digits training camp, guys. I am excited. Are you? So I think we all are. Much love, Jason Renfro. And by the way, I said the leader is Skeptical Fan in the overall board. Right now, leading Marco Seppian, the leader in the Cash App in front. And again, second place is Jason Renfro. First place, Snug X. We know why he's here. So much love to you guys. And much love to those who dropped in love tonight. Mark Hovsepian, a couple, again, Skeptical Fan. Appreciate you with your gifting memberships. Once again, cannot do this without your guys' love and support. So thank you on that side. And baby, I think you do the shout-outs already?
No, still got to do them now. So.
Well, let's hit them up with the shout-outs. Let's
Raul, go. Cactus G, Double R, Mike Aldana, Stephen White, Mikey High Night, Rolando Rodriguez, Tim Pinnell. We have Cactus G. Just trying to make sure. Skeptical Fan, always staying skeptical.
Always.
Scorpio.
Yeah.
We have Retro Scotty in the house. Kenzie Bands. Clark from the fucking Kent. And that's as far back as I can go. So Mark Hovsepian, of course, mahalo to you. Aloha. Have a great night.
The man, Mark is the man. 97 points up there. Sponsor of the week. The all-time sponsor of the week streak crusher. 15 in a row. That's almost incredible when you think about it. I mean, one away from 4 months in a row as our sponsor of the week. That was pretty much what it was last year. I know Jason Renfro, like about a year and a half, 2 years ago, was our Cash App King for 20 weeks in a row. So these two guys are repping it this week. We'll see what happens next week with two different people in the lead. Now, on that note, baby, why do we do this here, my Cowboys family, each and every single night?
It's that navy blue, that silver too, and that star over everything.
Hell yeah, guys. Win, lose, or draw. Good, bad, or ugly. We need it to be good. We need to get that 6. Here in MCF, as you see me repping on the shirt, we always rep over MCF. Oh. That star over everything.
You know it.
Ooh, man. The drops of love from above from the man, Marco Seppian. And that 5 on it.
Thank you, Mark. Mahalo to you.
Uh-huh.
You know, he said, the other day we spoke O-line. Who's out there? Who's expected to be released? The O-line is a huge issue, and Farniok sucks.
And listen, I agree. And Farniok, to me, Matt Farniok is, you know, the best we got inside. I hate to fucking say it. That's all. And because he has a couple starts last year. And it wasn't that good. It was not very good in those starts. So I'm with you. I worry about that. Here's what I think, Mark, and I'm trying to think in a way where the clown show doesn't, you know, with the clown show effect. You feel me on here? Clown show effect, Jerry and Stephen Jones, when you get the makeup on. Think about it like this. They would probably wait until someone's cut into the training camps, season here, right? Or maybe the first week, which I would say is almost acceptable. But the fact that you'd wait even this long to me is a major issue when it comes to the clown show. So again, that already is an issue number one. You wait a little longer, you get a guy like Malik Hooker. I'll take the clown show off for that. That was about a couple of days into camp a couple of years ago. And then you got clown show again, not necessarily Everson Griffin. I think he was maybe a week before camp, a week into camp. Anthony Barr last year. I'm just saying those don't seem to always pay off, but they are moves that we make eventually. I believe that's probably where we're going to go this year. I know I'm hearing linebacker. This is Brian Broda saying linebacker, running back. I'm going to throw in their offensive guard, but in the end, the answer to this, Mark. And he did drop the 5 on it, so that's why we're going extra deep here. But I think the answer, baby, is simple. I mean, I don't know if you agree with this or not, but I think the answer is simple. It's about one guy. One guy. It's not about Dak. It's not about Jerry anymore. They're going to do clown show stuff and just probably pick up someone either not very good in free agency eventually. Not anyone close to Dalton Reisner when he's not hurt. And I think this is more probable, go with one of our guys. You know how that goes, right? One of our own guys already here.
I agree.
That's probably what the Cowboys are going to do. But the answer is not with them. That's why I'm saying don't bank on them. I say we got to hope that this guy here, Mike McCarthy, that he...
The big bubble.
Listen, I guess I'm not the biggest fan of Mike McCarthy, but I am a fan of him molding the offensive scheme to the quarterback and making the offense better. And I think that one of the things he's taking into account, just roll with me here. Let me know, Mark, if you agree. And baby, I want to know if you agree too. But I think McCarthy, his game plan, knowing Mark knows it, I know it, you know it, the family knows that the Joneses do clown show shit. And they're not going to pick up, spend a little bit of money with the $20 million plus they got. They're not going to put money into a $8 million offensive lineman free agent, and they missed their chance on drafting one. So, clown show, right? McCarthy, I think, was ready for something like this. And what I think this, again, I hate calling it this, it sounds corny, the Texas Coast offense, but the point is that 30% sprinkle of that West Coast offense into this old Kellen Moore kind of game plan, I believe that is going to be what the difference is when it comes to the offensive line. I believe that the quick throws, we know it's happening. We got Dak already ready to scramble after 2.5 seconds. These are things we know it's already being developed. That's the identity of this team going forward. So I want to know from Mark, if we're doing that, if the ball is out in 2 to 2.5 seconds, and if not, Dak breaks the pocket, or we have a crisp slant route that we get the ball on and do some yak yardage there. I mean, this is what the West Coast offense is going to look like. So I don't know if you think, baby, on this, but again, I think getting the ball out quick is to help Dak with a couple of reads, but also to help Dak because the offensive line might be broken.
I agree. It's a multifaceted factor there. And you do kind of have to wonder if, I mean, for better or for worse, like I know Mark wants to see us obviously bring in a little more oomph there.
I do too.
I'm just saying, like, I wonder if part of the reason as well, because again, there's usually always more than one. One of the reasons we're going to see McCarthy try to build what he's calling that, or what Dak called the Texas Coast offense is to help compensate for some of that, right? Instead of waiting for the O-line to break down and maybe not look so good, we're going to hopefully do that while they're still good and still speed things up and still basically, it's almost like we're pretending like they are bad. I know it sounds weird to say, but at least that's hopefully I'm explaining myself right. But yeah, I mean, again, there's always more than one reason.
I'm curious to know what some of you guys think about that possibility. Do you think the Mike McCarthy quick passing West Coast offense is not just to help Dak, but also to help our offense because the offensive line is probably going to be short a player at all times with injuries?
If the O-line isn't right, I mean, it affects, like I said, that's the biggest problem there. It affects the entire offense, right? Yeah. Running back can't run, receivers can't catch, so on and so on.
And I'm seeing other comments out here like Awesome Richard there by Tim Pinnell. I mean, he's too young. TJ Bass, too young. I see Retro Scotty saying that Brian Schottenheimer should open up Dak's eyes. But no, McCarthy, that guy in the middle, he's the guy. He's the quarterback coach, basically. I know we got Schottenheimer. I know we got a guy moved up, that we moved him up to quarterback coach. But I truly believe that Mike McCarthy is connected here with Dak this year. This is his job now for Mike McCarthy. So both guys are heavily influenced. By the way, a skeptical fan, no, Jason Peters is not retired yet. He's still a free agent. Much love to the man, Mark Hovsepian. I'm excited to hear what he's got to say with that 5 on it and fully loaded on that stream, boss, and getting closer to skeptical fan.
He said,
what did he say?
In theory, yes.
All right.
Realistically,
no.
Nope.
All right,
if it was that easy, then every team would get rid of the ball quickly. Then you've got to contend with press coverage.
And again, that's. I'm just trying to think, how would you run the West Coast offense? And then let's say you're not running West Coast offense. Let's say you're giving. Now let's just look at it this way. You're going on this play. Let's say you're giving Dak a quick 2 reads, not a quick pass, but 2 or 3 reads in a 2.5 second span, and everybody on the team knows if that ball hasn't been thrown yet, you go to a certain spot in the field, wherever that is, receivers, tight ends, running backs, offensive linemen. You know what I'm saying? Like this is, and they know Dak is going right or going left in the pocket and kind of gonna break the pocket, but is gonna extend the play. That to me is okay. If someone gets in, you got to scramble, right? If there's a missed block by Matt Farniok, in 2.5 seconds, Dak's breaking the pocket already. So I think Dak's getting ready. This is part of what we know for sure. Dak's going to break the pocket more often in the smaller 2 to 2.5 second range. So not just about the throwing the ball quick, but the quick reads for Dak, which should help him. And then breaking Dak out of the pocket. Now, with that expectation on every single play, I'm asking Mark, does that help that broken offensive line guard spot with Matt Farniok? Let's say he has to play. It's broken. He will block okay sometimes. Sometimes he's going to fuck up. With that knowledge of the 2.5 second or 2 second break for Dak from the pocket, no one's open, those 2 reads, he goes. That should help also slow down the mistakes of Matt Farniok. Not necessarily erase them, but the team is ready for them.
Look, even just slowing them down gives you time to hopefully execute or do what you need to do without that mistake affecting you as much.
Again, I think this is kind of similar to what you'll see in a West Coast offense. You have to have. Here's the key, though. You have to have a good enough quarterback. Dak, I believe, is that. You have to have the other offensive linemen that got to be pretty solid. We have that. They're the ones that won't be injured. You have a very dynamic running back in Tony Pollard and a lot of other little guys who got to see how they play into the mix. No real short yardage guy. And then you got a bunch of tight ends that can block and catch, and you got a fantastic wide receiver core. So now you got a lot of weapons. You can't cover everyone, so if they gonna favor on covering CeeDee Lamb and doubling him or something like that, or bracketing him, you got 3 other options for Dak Prescott to read in a 2.5 second mark. And then at that point, I think that the Cowboys, once they get, again, training camp, they'll get more comfortable. I think they already have the playbook kind of on the same page here. I think they're going to fine-tune it out here in training camp. But they are a much better place now than they were last year with knowing the playbook. And I think it's about speed. It's about up-tempo. Up-tempo, to me, is going to change the game for the Cowboy offense if we could really do that at least another 2 drives per game. Let's get up-tempo. You'll get points from this offense. And Mike McCarthy, I think he's seen in 3 years the good and bad and ugly, not just of Dak, but of this entire offense, what it can do, what it can't do, with the new pieces or not, and his twist on offense. I think he has a better idea, a better plan than you and I, and maybe anybody in the last. I mean, forget Garrett, forget Lenahan, forget Kellen Moore. I'm just saying, maybe back since Jimmy Johnson days, since Bill Parcells days, right? Sean Payton. That's a lot. This might be the best chance for an offense since Bill Parcells and Sean Payton were running the show there. Sean Payton as the offensive coordinator. We got the man running the show here, Mark Hovsepian, getting closer and closer to Skeptical Fan in the top spot. Oh, well, let me rephrase that, because Splenda Poppy burner account is now a member because of the man staying skeptical. Yes, you know his name, Skeptical Fan, with another membership gifted. Splenda Poppy gets it. Appreciate you there, Skeptical Fan, and bowing down to the love from above from that. And again, that's the best way of dropping and donating and all that, because that really shares the experience, and everyone gets the emojis. They get all the other stuff that we do here, membership bonus raffle entries when we have those. So congratulations to Splenda Poppy, and much love to Skeptical Fan for that drop of gifting memberships. I mean, man, he is I'll have to fix it later, but he dropped 3 tonight. Ooh. Doggy's having a late night snack, guys. Pardon the background there. But yes, much love to Skeptical Fan for doing it. Now let me see what the man Mark Hovsepian just said with that 5 on it. He said what will help is getting a guard who can block so you can get rid of the ball quick or stay in the pocket. 20 million plus, we are playing these BS games, clowns. I cannot disagree with anything he's saying. I agree with that. What I'm trying to say, Mark, I 100% agree it's the clown show when you look at the left guard spot. But my question is still the same. There are some options here. We got a quicker up. What can McCarthy do? He can't force the front office to go and get an offensive guard. Now, should he get fired? Here's a good one. Should he get fired if Schoonmaker is a bust and Osiris Torrance is rocking shit over there, with the team he got? I think, was it the Ravens or something? Whoever drafted him. Because then I say that one is on McCarthy, the drafting side of things. As far as free agency, the Joneses ain't going to let us spend. He's not going to let anyone spend any money. That's just the way it is going to be. So,
I agree.
To me, I think that I think
Too
that
cheap for that.
Yeah, I think that that we have to rely on McCarthy making do with what he's got, with the decisions he made with Schoonmaker over Osiris Torrance, and live with the decisions that on that side of things, but also adapt to the lack of the way that the front office does things, and expect it, right? And I think that's what McCarthy's doing the best on the free agent side. Marco 7 with that quick 1-2. J. Lou, Dollar Holler. What do you say?
Skeptical Fan's like the crackhead of gifts.
Hey, listen, this man, Skeptical Fan, is back to back.
No, he's
trying to be the back, right?
He's like the Oprah
Three-peat.
of gifts. You get a membership. You get a membership.
He's
you get a
really
membership.
getting close to a 3-peat here at the end of this month. We'll see who wins that. Right now, Jason Renfro has 3. And that's it. Nobody else. So he's the only
cracks
one.
me up because Frame Ripper said every time I get on the stream, there's always some type of Kellen Moore hate. And it's still fresh in our hearts. You got to let us work, get the poison out.
We can't really, we'll have to see how things go this year and see how everything kind of breaks down. But look, just keep an eye on your boy over there, Kellen Moore, and see if he, let me put it this way, let's see if he is going to do well against defenses with the when he was with the Chargers there. Let's see how good their offense does against good defenses in the NFL, not average ones. Let's see. I'm curious. That will kind of give me the final answer on that. By the way, there you go. 20. I think it's 29 for a Skeptical Fan, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he dropped 3, and he's at 29 gifted membership, still in first place over Mark Hovsepian in a close one, in a close race, a close battle.
That's right.
Here. So, yeah, it's neck and neck over there. So, again, as we wrapping this up, great comments and great thoughts and great questions. Maybe any thoughts on this in the sense of, I guess the mistakes were made, and I think McCarthy will get fired if that Schoonmaker pick and that
His
offensive
ass is
guard.
definitely on the line.
Yeah, for that pick in itself, I say that could be the one. But if it's not on our offensive line, and if his offensive game plan is able to overcome the issues that we'll have sometimes on the offensive line, then I think we'll be okay on offense. I think Dak will do enough. I think the other talent we have on the team is going to do enough to, if we stay relatively healthy and knocking on wood, then I think that we'll be fine in this season. I think that Dak will be having one of his best seasons that he's had right now in his, 8 years in the NFL. I think Dak is going to have the best play caller he's had. I think the Cowboys' best play caller we've had since Sean Payton. I don't know. That's about it's about 20 years ago. So, I guess 18 years ago, right? 17 years ago.
Has it been that long?
Still, yeah, but that's a long time, right? I mean, we haven't had Jason Garrett was the cool new kid, and everything changed when he basically became head coach. After a year.
Nation attacked.
Yeah, listen, it just became a whole different thing after he was kind of corralled to slow it down and play. Romo just changed so many plays. He said, "Garrett, what the hell are you doing, Jason?" So, anyways, that's who knows what relationship they had, but they both, Dak and Romo had different relationship kind of connections, because again, Romo was there before Jason Garrett. When Garrett comes in there, calls the plays. It's like, that's great, but I still control. He was there enough that Romo controlled and had ownership of that offense, right? So even if it's Jason Garrett's stamp of approval, it's still Tony Romo making the switches. Dak doesn't do that, and Dak came in. It was Garrett telling him what to do. It was Lenahan telling him what to do. It was Kellen Moore being his equal peer, telling him what to do. And Dak is the kind of guy, I think that he needs to get better at this. I think McCarthy agrees. McCarthy wants Dak to take ownership, own this offense. And I think that's taking over the offense. Sometimes you got to say, no, this fucking play sucks, Mike. I'm going to call this play. You know what I'm saying? Not he's going to say that, but he's thinking that he's going to change the play at the line of scrimmage like Romo did. That's taking ownership, and that's what McCarthy's trying to teach.
Yeah, I think,
let Dak do
McCarthy's trying to empower Dak to be able to do that. Where Kellen Moore, obviously, I don't think necessarily wanted Dak to deviate from his very carefully crafted offensive game plan. You get what I mean?
I 100% agree, and that's a big part of things there, And
thank you again, Mark. Mahalo to you.
Back to 100 points on the stream, boss. What did he say with another 5 on it?
The issue is, as usual, you get away with the song and dance with lame teams. You play good teams with good coaching and defenses, and the quick stuff just won't work. Again, it definitely won't work in the same way, but I'm hoping, and obviously, this is where everyone on the team has to rally, right? There's a variety of different lengths of play development time and plays that you can work through and develop and stuff. So it's not just about, let's go quick, right? Any team can eventually figure that out. So it's about the balance. And I do think that's something that, again, Kellen Moore just fell really short, right? Not everything Kellen Moore did, obviously, failed. As you guys keep saying, we did have a top-rated offense. Like, Kellen Moore was obviously partially responsible for that. So
and listen,
not everything we were doing was wrong. And honestly, I said this before. It's not even necessarily the plays themselves that I have a problem with so much as the way that they're almost stitched together with no thought, rhyme, or reason as to the play that came before it or the play that's going to come after it. So, I feel like obviously that was a big part of the problem, and based off what our players have also said, seems like understanding what the fuck they were supposed to be doing in the first place was also a problem.
Yes, and I 100% agree with the sense of what Mark is saying here, and also maybe I think and again, people keep saying it's Dak Prescott. When he plays an easy team on defense, a bad defense, and he is good. He is good in the Kellen Moore offense. I'm giving Kellen Moore credit. Dak is very good in the Kellen Moore offense when the Kellen Moore offense goes up against a weaker defense. Even Noah Browns can beat some of these guys. But when you have the Niners, the Eagles, and better defenses like that, the Broncos from a couple years ago, what happens? You get figured out. The Broncos did too, but the Buccaneers, back-to-back opening games, they figured us out, and they figured us out the second time, and they said they knew it at the beginning of last year when they beat us. They knew all our plays. That's Kellen Moore. That's 100% on Kellen Moore. Nothing changed. So when Levante David says that about, we knew all their plays, it was exactly the same as last year. I don't care if you have Tom Brady. You're not going to be successful in that game. So that's where the big issue falls. So Kellen Moore against teams that are not talented when it comes to defensive coaching or defensive players, when they're not talented and not have good coaching, the Cowboys and Kellen Moore, and watch this year, Herbert, and Justin Herbert and the Chargers, they'll score 45 points in games against, the Houston Texans. But then when they play against even a team like the Denver Broncos, the Buffalo Bills, the Dallas Cowboys, I'm just saying, watch the Chargers struggle. Watch those points not be so high. Trust me, I believe that's we're going to see this. And if not, then maybe they're the right. If it happens different and they're successful, maybe that's the perfect offense for Herbert. We'll see, how Dak Prescott responds with the Mike McCarthy Texas Coast offense. We'll have to wait and see. Then the pressure is on McCarthy to get this shit right, and then it's on Dak Prescott even more so.
I agree.
Because that means, is there not a good scheme for Dak? Because if not, then this is best chance this year.
We kind of said it. It's McCarthy and Dak are both hanging on by a thread in the sense that opinions are going to shift in a very different way, probably internally and externally when it comes to the organization. There's no way Dak or McCarthy gets away with another big L this year.
I hear you. I 100% agree. He gets another. If you look at the division championship game in the NFC, McCarthy's, I think, a bye-bye, and Dan Quinn is head coach with Joe Witt Jr. as our defensive coordinator. Now, as we wrap it up, baby, this is overtime here. We went 20 minutes overtime here. I do want to shout out some of the comments in the chat. So I don't know if you can go through them. Thomas Garrett said Dak is too much of a company corporate guy. He listens to whatever, the front office says. Not the front office, but the coach says he's going to do it. He doesn't really adjust. Romo says, fuck this, I'm taking over. Dak needs to have that attitude a little bit more. Hopefully, I think McCarthy is pushing that into Dak. Frame Rippers, much love to you. He's talking about that the players working hard. We see those videos. Where's the studying? They do studying as well. Trust me, hey, they all got the playbook. They're all doing studies. Actually, I saw last year, J. Ron Kurz posted on his Instagram, or he posted on Twitter, J. Ron Kurz, some stuff in training camp that he was posting and studying. So it's not really exciting, right? But it is them working hard. Sean Lee, all these guys studied, not just the Sean Lees and LVEs. Just letting you know, brother. Just letting you know. Yeah. We got another 5 on it this time. Skeptical fan. I was going to say, baby, right now, now it's 14, so it's 15 points up, basically, on Mark Hovsepian. Skeptical is in first place. Mark would need 15 to get into first place. And he's also down 5 on the Stream Boss and 95 points. Jonathan Hankins up there for Mark Hovsepian. What did Skeptical fan just say?
So what team will be a good measurement of how good our new scheme is?
Great question, but I think it comes early. It comes very early in our schedule. Yeah, we get the Giants divisional game. That's not the test that you're talking about. Also, you look at the Jets. That's an interesting game because they're all saying they got the best defensive backfield in the league, right? So when you look at these games, to me, you really got to look again. Belichick with the Patriots, always good, but look at the Niners. That's the test.
I was just about to say
that's the one. That's the first real test.
My mind was the Niners.
Niners are the first real test. The Jets are definitely a test as well. Divisional test. The Giants, they're definitely decent. Playoff team. The Cardinals, that's the game we should, Kyler Murray's the only real weapon there, it seems. And again, don't sleep on the Patriots, no matter how good or bad they may be, but this one's in Dallas. Belichick's a fantastic mastermind coach on defense, so don't sleep on that. But that's, I think, the one. That again, there's coaches here. There's a great defensive backfield with the Jets. You got to worry about, right? You got to worry about the great defensive coaching of Bill Belichick there week 4. You got to worry about the great defensive coaching and defense overall week 5 against the 49ers on the road. That's the game I'm circling to see. Okay, now we've had a whole month of games. How are we going to respond against a team that fucking embarrassed us the last 2 years and kicked us out of the playoffs? How are we going to respond to these motherfuckers? What are we going to do to bounce back and show what we worked all offseason for? Mm-hmm. To get past those motherfuckers, let's see it in action now and beat their ass. That's my test right there. And of course, Chargers, I don't know about their defense, the bye week, the Rams. But then you got the Eagles, another very difficult defense. That's another great test on the road. So those are the two big ones that first half of the schedule. The Bills later, along with the Eagles, you got the Bills later on. You got, a couple teams in there, again, repeats of the Giants, Washington, Eagles again. So, there's some good defenses there, but I think the real test there, the first real test is defensive backfield of the Jets. You got, Bill Belichick there with the Patriots, but that big test is the Niners week 5. That's my opinion. I don't know. Maybe, are you on the same page on that? I don't know.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, again, I'm just going through, I'm going through some of these things here. Yep. I'm going through some of these comments, guys. I appreciate all your thoughts and drops of knowledge in there.
Let me go ahead and do the final shout-outs here. of the night.
As
we have Frame Rippers, much love, who said, I think these players only put in the study time during camp but not at home. You can tell who actually takes home the homework. Yeah. Big, again, one thing that I think that Sean Lee passed on to LVE, and one of the reasons why LVE is still here is his at home, watching the tape, that hard work type of thing. You can tell how much of a difference Dan Quinn's scheme has made, but how much his own, like, at-home work, I think. Like,
I agree.
He does his homework.
And you got to remember, all these guys kind of do this.
Like,
I do agree this.
Shows a big difference.
I do agree guys do it at different levels, but I do think that when you see the guys on that field, running out there for training camp, when they're on that field together and they're working together as an 11-man group, I think you got to see cohesiveness. You got to see everybody on the same page. The guys that make mistakes are the guys that didn't study in the offseason.
Right,
Thankfully,
Kelvin
Joseph, right? We're watching you. He's on the bubble here. Him, Gallimore, Nashawn Wright. I got some footage of Nashawn Wright coming out soon. I got some other stuff you guys definitely want to see here. So keep that notification bell on. So all our live streams, our videos, you'll get the notifications. You got to check the shorts on your own. But everything else comes out, guys. And again, we're going to be dropping fantastic clips with some breakdown stuff literally the entire day. That's the plan here, guys. From the drop of July 24th, whatever comes out from there, all the way until through Oxnard, I should say, and back to the Star in Frisco and in Texas there, where they finish out their training camp till we get to the. You're going to get a lot of stuff falling down. Even notifications will not be showing up, guys, sometimes. So you got to keep it locked in here, tuned in. If you're watching as a replay, just remember to hit all videos when you go to that notification bell. If you haven't yet subscribed, what are you doing? And hit that like button for this stream. We had a great discussion tonight, a little overtime session. We went perfectly 60 minutes tonight, and then we went overtime. Love it, guys. You guys bring it. And appreciate all you guys, specifically Skeptical Fan and Marco Sepian, who've been rocking with us here and doing their thing tonight. So extra special thanks and love to you guys. Membership gifting, dropping the super chats. Go Cowboys. You guys really rock it. Make the experience the real deal here on My Cowboys Family on a special Saturday. Maybe it'll be simulation soon. We'll see.
Brandon James Shea, Scorpio, Rolando Rodriguez, Skeptical Fan. Always staying skeptical.
Always.
We have Thomas Garrett, the Superior Garrett, Retro Scotty, Markov Sepian. Woo. Mahalo to you.
I think now 15 back from first place as
Henry
we enter
Hayes.
The final day tomorrow.
Let me see who else is here. Splenda Papi.
Gifted membership.
Even you, Lisa Commander. Tim Pinnell. Jason Renfro, of course.
Yeah.
Scorpio. Cactus G. Mike Aldana. Mikey High Night. That's actually about as far back as it lets me go here. So, baby, why do we do what we do here?
No, I think we did all that, didn't we?
Did we? You sure?
Yeah, I remember we did that. We do. But I'll say it again because it's about that navy blue. Silver 2, star over everything. And, of course, win, lose, or draw, good, bad, or ugly. As you see on my shirt, MCF, still the star over everything.
Always.
Never forget here, guys, My Cowboys Family. 6 years and beyond here on YouTube. Never forget the number one thing here, now and forever. As always, say it with us. Go Cowboys! Let's get that 6 and beyond. Thank you all for dropping your knowledge in the chat all night long. In the overtime session, making it real here. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Also, appreciate everybody who's dropped the love from above. So the knowledge, the love, can't do it without you guys. Now as we rock out for the night, come tomorrow for the big weekly closure. Some new champions, maybe some repeats. We'll see. But either way, we'll be rocking it here for the finale of the week tomorrow night right here, back here on My Cowboys Family. Before we can drop out officially for the night, baby, what do we got to do before we get on out and drop out of here for the night?
We got to drop the beat.
Oh, yeah. Beat's been dropped. It's a wrap. The wife and I going to enjoy the rest of our Saturday night, late night, into the Sunday morning and to beyond until we get back to our finale tomorrow, guys. Join us for that. It'll be a lot of fun. Thank you, all you guys. Skeptical Fan, Markov Sepian, especially you guys with the drops of the night tonight. And we'll be back tomorrow for some more Cowboy info, news, updates, the wrap up. And also a reminder for everybody good in math, remind those Eagle fans some basic mathematics. 5 is always greater than 1, baby. Cry, Eagles, cry. Hell yeah. And fuck Philly. All right, I'm done. Guys, thank you for another one here I know the Cowboys in 60. Yeah, the Cowboys in 90 today, right? We had Cowboys in 60, and we had Cowboys chat in 30 overtime OT session. But you see the new field here, and you see the issues with the vision. Yeah, Jerry Jones causing some issues there. We'll see how that turns out. You know Jerry's going to win. He's a freaking millionaire, right? You got Tony Pollard. Oh, yeah. Will he get that tag? We'll find out Monday, 4 p.m. if he's going to stay on that tag, play on that tag, or get an extension. Probably going to play on that tag, but we know he's ranked up there in the top 10 of running backs right now. Deuce Vaughn, Mozzy, they're ready for this training camp. I know you guys are too. And we'll be ready for this thing throughout the rest of this year and beyond. Right here in MCF, where it's about that navy blue, that silver too, that star over everything. Never ever forget the number one thing right here on My Cowboys Family. Much love to everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow for the finale wrap-up of the week. Have a great night. Peace out. Stay safe. And never, ever forget, Go Cowboys!